Welcome, friends, to the Soul Talk podcast, a show where we explore and uncover the path to the heart, amplifying your conscience. Join me as we meet incredible souls who are in this journey and learn from their experience and different methods that will make you vibrate your heart. Let's get into it.
Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and we're in Model 12. And in the Model 12, it is about creating healthy boundaries. And first, let's define what it is a boundary. Boundary, it is a set of rules that you're going to put to others to interact with yourself. And there's a purpose for that. The purpose for that, it is you're teaching others how you want to be treated. It sounds very mechanical when you put it like that, but in a way, you're telling others. Again, I'm going to repeat this part. You're telling others how you want to be treated. Since we were little kids, we were not taught that we can tell others how we're going to want to be treated. They tell us, oh, get over it, or this is the way I am your mother or your father, whatever it was. So we had to take it. We didn't have a choice. But that became also, as an adult, it affects us in our interactions with everybody, including our parents. It affects us in the way how we deal with our kids, how we deal with our friends or our spouses or boyfriends, whatever it is. It affects us in every single level in of our existence because we don't know how to tell others, hey, every time that you yell, it trigger me, or it give me, or I have PTSD, or I cannot take it, or it irritates me, or something happened. So in there, I want you to stop and think, how do you like to be treated? Because part of doing the shadow work that all this session or level and from path to the heart, it is about doing shadow work. And part of doing shadow work, it is getting to know yourself. When we get to know ourselves, we can know how we want to be treated, how much we love ourselves. So will you permit that someone come knock at your door and yell at you for no reason? Or would you like to someone to come and mistreat you or treat you like the maid or the slave or whatever? So it is important that we get to know how we want to be treated. That's part of the first process. And it is about learning how to respect ourselves in every single level. Because if we don't respect ourselves, how will we expect that others respect us? We cannot ask anyone to treat us better than we treat ourselves. And that is not going to happen because we cannot change anything from outside if we don't change ourselves first. So we're going to be talking in the next module about self-love and forgiveness later on, but it is important of part of that self-love, it is self-respect, and that's what it is, boundaries. It is creating a healthy relationship with everybody at the same time, because they're going to be able, when you tell them, hey, every time that you yell at me, it trigger me, it make me mad, or it make me sad, or it make me fear, or make me whatever emotion it bring you. But when you're telling that to someone, you're giving them permission at the same time to tell you, hey, when you ring your fingers, it trigger me. Oh, I did not knew that. I'm going to stop doing that, or try to avoid to doing that because it triggered you. But like that, both you can have a communication, a better communication, and how you want to be treated, both of you. It can be your kids, it can be your spouse, boss, co-workers, friends, name it, whoever it is, teacher, etc., whoever it is. So we're going to be having more healthy relationships when we set our boundaries because we know, oh, I cannot call that person after certain time because that person I know she goes to sleep at 8 o'clock. How many friends you have that goes to sleep at 8 o'clock? And you know, like I can't. It's already 8 o'clock. I cannot, or 8:30. I cannot call them because they're gonna be asleep. That it is a boundary. So you need to talk to people how you want to be treated. And when we're treating ourselves with that respect, and we're giving that respect also at the same time to others, that it is going to make us feel fine. It's going to make you feel happy. It's going to make us feel empowered because we're not going to feel that someone is taking advantage of us or we're not taking an advantage of someone else. So we need to learn to what point we can set a limit. It is like having a 2 year old in a way. A 2 year old will test your limits. Okay, if I yell for 2 hours, to what point my mother is going to start yelling at me back? Or going to punish me, or going to give me the candy, or is going to take me a car ride, whatever it is that the 2 year old is looking for. It is testing the limits to what point he can do whatever he's doing, as annoying as can be, to you explode, or the adult explode, or the authority figure explode. So it is testing the boundaries. We did that when we were two, but we're not two anymore. So now we need to know what are our limits because now we know ourselves. Like for me, if you put me to live in a cave, completely dark and so forth, and I have to live only from lights, I cannot take it. That's my limit. I just can't do something like that. Hey, but everybody's different. I respect everybody. Something that I learned in one of the first classes of personal work that I did, that was when I was 20. These words got stuck to me because I took it as a rule in my life that I was completely free to do whatever I want until I get to the limit of someone else. And the same applies for them. They're free until they get to my limit. So think about that because that is very crucial. It did change my life when I was in my 20s because I came to understand it like, oh, I can do, I can go out with my friends, I can do this, I can do that, but I have to get home at certain time because it bothered my parents and I'm living with my parents. You know what I mean? So try to understand those parts. What is your limits? And your limits is when it starts the freedom of someone else. I can take it that as a, I took that as a rule that I was free until I get to the space of someone else. Then it is a, or a shared limit, a shared boundary in there, or is their own. So you need to check those your boundaries and you need to communicate clearly what did you want because we're like we just put faces and we assume that that person will understand us. They don't, they are not mind readers. So we need to tell them how we want to be treated, how what do we really want. We cannot assume that everybody's mind reader. And many times you get with a friend that is like, oh my gosh, she's so annoying, but have you tell her, hey, when you do this, it is annoying, or it's bothering me, or it hurts me, or whatever it is. Have you told her, or you just avoid the person? So why not setting boundaries to that person? Why not? We're not. If you're not setting boundaries, it is because you're afraid to being rejected, afraid of conflict, afraid of people getting mad at you. So that comes from your childhood. That probably when you you were trying to express to your mom or your dad, they start yelling at you or getting backslash, or they don't talking to your friends or your lost friends or whatever. So it is a past trauma in a way. But when you can observe it, that now you're the adult, you're not that kid anymore, that you're living in your own space, you're not with the other people, or whatever your situation, you're not the same person that you were then when you had that trauma. And it is important that you observe that, because like that, you're reframing that trauma, that getting to know that in this moment, in this timeline, you're safe, you're protected. So speak clearly. Don't be afraid to speak your voice. You don't, I'm not telling you speak your voice and say how you want to be treated, yelling at someone else. They're going to close down. Whoever that yells to the other person is just going to close down, and it's going to trigger a bunch of things. Either do it to you or you do it to them. So there's not necessarily to get there. But I have learned that sometimes when you're vulnerable, I'm not talking about the boss or work, I'm talking about your husband, your kids, your friends, people that you're emotionally attached, is not labor attached, more emotionally attached. You can be vulnerable with them and speak your truth and clearly. Don't think that they are mind readers, and be consistent. You cannot tell them, you cannot yell at me, and then the next time they yell at you, you stay quiet and you take it. And then again, they're going to be doing it, and then you're going to take it and take it until you're going to get to a point. I told you that do not do this to me, because you finally exploded. It says, but I've been doing this. You've been letting me. Now, what do you mean? So, if you set a boundary, you have to be consistent in that boundary so the people learn that they cannot do that to you. So, respect yourself, knowing your limits, be clearly, and be consistent. And at the same time, be flexible. That's the next one. Because when you're flexible, you're the persons that I have encountered that have it difficult in life are the people that they are not adapting to change. You say at 4 o'clock, why you change it at 4:30? They're having it hard, way harder. Because sometimes things happen that you cannot attend or be there at that time, or make it just harder for you if you're not adapting to the new change. So try to be flexible. There are also at the same time different kinds of boundaries that we need to be aware. There is the boundary that it is the physical. That one of the example it will be, I prefer to keep my distance or at least 3 feet away from you. That's the physical one. If you see someone that it is very, very aggressive and so forth, and they're just getting closer and closer to your physical area, to your energy area, you're gonna tell them, hey, I prefer that you stay over there. Or they tell you the same thing. I prefer you stay over there. That's a physical boundary. The emotional boundary, an example will be, I need to take a break from this conversation because we're getting mad or whatever it is. I do that all the time. I do use a lot of my cigarette. I'm not saying to everybody to use your cigarette, but I do use it a lot because I've been with my mother-in-law. She's yelling at me. She's acting all crazy. And I don't want to answer her back and create a bigger problem with that already is. So I just say, I'm going to go and have a cigarette. And I go out of the house and go and have a cigarette and give myself calm and thinking how I can respond to this woman, this and this and this and this. But I'm taking my time to respond, not reacting to the problem. And or at the same time, well, I'm gonna leave you alone because I have to say that to her too. I'm gonna leave you alone until you calm down and then we can speak. Because right now we cannot speak while you're yelling or crying or whatever. I have even clients that I have told them that. Why? Because they are not, they're totally emotional. I had a client that she paid me for a session for 1 hour, and she spent 45 minutes crying, and I could not calm her down. After the 45 minutes, she wanted to have a session of an hour. Like, you just having 15 minutes. You have to book another session. Why? Because I tried to calm you down since the beginning so we can start doing the work. And I cannot calm you down. You have 15 minutes. Guess what? She did book another session with me. And the next time, she started crying. And I told her at 5 minutes, like, okay, you already have 5 minutes. You can continue crying another hour, or we can start and but you have to stop crying. And guess what? Stop crying immediately. So we have to put those kind of boundaries to people because sometimes that emotional part, oh gosh, it's like having a vampire sucking your energy. And then we have the mental boundary. An example will be I appreciate your opinion, but I have my own views about the topic. How many times you compromise what do you think, how you observe things, but you stay quiet because someone else's opinion different. A big example it is from the my husband is atheist and I am very spiritual. Not I don't believe in religions, but I am very spiritual. And there's always that conflict between both of us because he's an atheist. He don't believe in energy. So when I start speaking about my beliefs, he goes into the atheism. And so that's where we bump heads a lot of times because we don't have the same beliefs. I try to always to say, you know what, this is how you believe about this, and this is how I believe about this. We are not trying to convince each other. You're not gonna convince me and or convert me, neither me. Because for to start, that would be very selfish from one side or the other. The one is trying to change the other one. So think about that. And the spiritual. I respect your beliefs, but I choose to practice my spiritual in my spiritual way. I believe everybody had the Jehovah Witness knocking at 7 o'clock in the morning Sunday in their home, and they're trying to convince you. They're trying to convince you about to listen at 7 o'clock in the morning, Jesus, from their point of view. And how many times you have kicked them out? It's like, I'm not going to talk to you at 7 o'clock in the morning, you know. But it is about not respecting other people's beliefs and trying to convert other people into their own beliefs. But guess what? Sometimes we act the same way, but we're not respecting other people's beliefs. That's why we have wars, we have a lot of problems because we're trying to control others through that. So, in the moment we start changing that, that's when our lives can change too. So, I invite you to think about that.
Hi everyone, this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love. And if you have been feeling stuck where you are right now, or if you have felt that you cannot connect with others in the same language or the same emotions that you're feeling, if you're a coach, a healer, energy worker, in any of those branches, maybe this is for you. Because we have felt the disconnection for the rest of our family, friends, that we cannot connect to them. And we're so afraid to actually go deep dive when we're getting triggered by our own clients because we're seeing our mirror image with them. My name is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love, and that's my spiritual name. And I take clients from feeling confused and feeling stuck to feeling free, to feeling that they feel empowered from themselves. I created a system path to the heart that goes in 3 levels. And the first level, it is healing the inner child, healing the parts of us that we've been so afraid, or it's very painful to do it. I have done it myself, not only with me, and I have done it with many, many of my clients, that I take them to this process. The second level, it is to go more into inner self, clearing the family lineage, to breaking the contracts and vows, learning deeper more about the laws of the universe. And the third level, it is learning how to channel, how to do waking up your and getting online your gifts, your unique gifts that the world so much needs right now. So, if you wanted to know more about this, I am eager to show you and to teach you all what I know that I use every day in my life. So, thank you for being here in this page. I really appreciate it. And this is Monica Ramirez, the Warrior of Love.
Now we're going to be talking about three of the chakras that affect us to creating a boundary. The first one, it is the plexus solar, that it is in the mouth of our stomach, that it is the yellow color. And in this one is when we're giving our power or receiving the power back. This is the one that makes us believe in ourselves, and it brings us in a way the respect, self honor to ourselves. So in this one, we have to take more. It's more an action based chakra, and it is very very. It is also, it helps us to speak our truth and say, because even if we only want to use the throat chakra, if we don't believe in ourselves, we're going to stay quiet. So both of them are connected in that way when we're setting a boundary. So I would recommend you these affirmations. I am powerful. I am sovereign. I establish my own space. I am enough. I deserve to be happy. I deserve to be treated good. I deserve to be honored and respected. I am independent. Make your own, guys. And check the meditation that I created also for this. Now we have the heart chakra. In the heart chakra, if our heart chakra is blocked, then of course we're going to go more deeply in the chakras. But if our heart chakra is blocked, what is going to happen? It is that we're not having that self love. So we don't know how to receive or give. So we're going to have problems to set a boundary with that. So I want you to ask these questions to yourself. If you don't like something, why you do it? Why you're trying to people please? Because that is problem with the heart chakra. And when you're not setting that boundary because you're pleasing others, it's telling you that you're having problems with your heart chakra that is not balanced, aligned, or activated. You don't like how your appearance is, ask yourself why it is, because it is influenced by others. Others tell me, oh, you look ugly, so I have to believe them. Or what do I dislike about my appearance? It is by me. Why I feel so insecure? You know what I mean? And if someone is telling me the boundary is, if someone is telling me you look so ugly, like, you know what? I don't permit that you talk to me like that. It's about setting a boundary. And of course, it's always the way they express it. But an unknown person, even if they say it's super nice, you look terrible. I'm not gonna take it, because Who there is telling me that I look terrible, an unknown person that comes to my field? Like, I'm not gonna permit that. The affirmations that I will give you for the heart chakra, it will be, I love and respect myself deeply. I deserve to be treated like gold or better. I deserve to receive abundance from the universe. I deserve good things to happen to me. I live in a good and loving world full of compassion. I honor my own needs. The next one, it is the throat chakra. And in the throat chakra, you're going to have now leads to have the better communication and knowing how to express yourself and speak your truth at the same time. So this chakra is very important for setting the boundaries. So, and you have to understand that when we're speaking our truth, it is also because we have an imbalance activated and aligned our own chakra. And if you're having problems with that, we need to talk to who can do that. Now, we are gonna the affirmations that I would recommend. It is, I speak my truth lovingly. I establish how I want to be treated. If our relationship it is not reciprocal, I'm not interested. If our relationship it is not reciprocal, I am not interested. These are just ideas. You can expand more in that. So put rules and think about these questions for the throat chakra. Do you have a friend that who only contacts you when they need it, not when you need it? That's not a friend. That's therapy, dude. Charge. You know why? Because you cannot speak your side as yourself. It is a friend. Believe me, as a therapist, I used to have more friends, but until I realized like they're just using me. It's only one side. It's only about them. But when I say, hey, I'm passing through this, no, 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 you have to hear me, only me. Like obviously, but they were not my real friends. Until I set my rules, my boundaries. They didn't like that. So that's when I realized, you know what? Maybe I should not be with this kind of friends. Friends. So do you have any space or routine that nobody respects? I remember when my sister used to call me at 7 o'clock in the morning, every morning, and I told her thousands of times, do not call me at this time. You're waking me up. I don't want you to call me this time. And she continued until finally I blocked her number. And later on, she was very offended by why I blocked her number. It's like, because you did not respect my boundary. That do not call me at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'm going to leave you some homework that it's about a lot of journaling that I want you to do. It is about to setting the boundaries and reflect. And you're going to be working with the physical boundaries, the emotional boundaries, the mental boundaries, the spiritual boundaries, and you're going to learn how to communicate your boundaries at the same time with this one. You need to check the homework. And I'm going to be uploading everything in the Google Drive that we have and also in the group so you can see this class and you can check also what I wrote about this class for today. You can check the materials and the homework in there. Okay? Have an amazing day. I wish you the best and I will see you soon. Okay? Bye-bye.